Today, we are talking with Kristen Felder from Collision Hub. Kristen had several sessions, actually a full day of sessions at the Southeast Collision Conference, and talked about a whole bunch of different topics that we're going to chit-chat about today. One of those being communication. What are some skills and techniques that you at your shop can be using to maximize communication to get the sale and get what you want? Stay tuned.
Welcome to Body Bangin', your podcast for all things body. Auto body, that is. And now, introducing Body Bangin's host, Mickey Woods of Mickey Woods Marketing. Mickey is a former auto collision center owner and is now a marketing and business development expert to shops across the globe.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Body Bangin' Podcast. I am so pumped that I have on today Kristen Felder. Yay, Kristen Felder. Woo-hoo. From Collision Hub.
Cheering section. So.
Yes, there you go. Kristen, we're not live broadcasting, but we're recording from the Southeast Collision Conference out in South Carolina. Kristen was there for a full day of training on Thursday, had a session last night. We'll do some more today. There's so many things we could talk to Kristen about. She's just says so much great information, but we're going to chat.
A lot.
She talks a lot, but we're going to talk today on the session she did last night specifically because it's my favorite title of the whole show. And it's Shut Up. Consumer communication and sales. But I love it. I think it's so applicable. Kristen, I'll let you kind of take it away.
Yeah. So what we did is I always tell people that you have to be careful when someone gives you numbers, like survey numbers, like 65% of consumers say this or whatever, because there's a lot of things you have to know in a survey, like how many people were surveyed and of those many, who were they? And there's a big difference between surveying 50 Tesla owners versus 50 Kia owners about their service experience, and then who paid for the survey? Because I mean, as someone that does market research for companies, you never want to give who paid you to do a survey back a whole lot of bad news. So sometimes we put biases in what we do. But we when COVID started to kind of come out, we went back and sat down with Accenture is a huge company. They do tons of consumer market surveys, and they had talked to 24,000 consumers, and we just really wanted to kind of take the temperature of where is the American consumer, which we all deal with consumers and we are consumers post-COVID. And specifically in the collision repair industry, we're real good at applying our own biases. I mean, we want the consumer to think our way. And a lot of us think that if we can just educate the consumer about the collision repair process, that will magically make them want to let us fix their car, fight for OEM parts, all of those things. I can't tell you for how many years people have said, Kristen, you should make a consumer education series of videos. So when we looked at the consumer data, really that's the shut up thing kind of came in. There's a lot of trauma in general, and there's a lot of trauma that's a hangover after COVID. And the American consumer is just struggling with a lot of things, and we're all struggling with economy, and things just seem to pile on. And they don't need to carry our burden. And we like to do that. They come in the shop and they say, I'm here for a repair. And they tell us their insurance company. And we go, oh, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have out-of-pocket expenses. And we add to their trauma. We're basically asking them to carry our own fight. We want an insurer to do a specific thing. And I was that insurer. And we think it's our job to get the consumer riled up to fight for us or with us. And the consumer data right now just doesn't support that. In fact, if we do that, we're probably going to run them off. And I always tell people I would love to come up with a different story, because a lot of what I sell and do is about that whole experience of taking the insurance company on. But in a post-COVID environment, that's just not the way to handle the consumer. So we talked about a little bit more how to deliver service in stages, how to allow the customer to absorb what's going on. It is a trauma experience.
Yeah.
And they need us to love them a little more than to talk to them technical. So I'm trying to explain OE procedures and all of that. I'm not giving them what they're needing from me. I'm telling them what I want them to know. And so we had to separate that back and give the shop some conversation skills on how to get the customer to tell you what they need and then just shut up and give them what they need.
Yeah.
That's the secret to success. Just give them what they need.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's could be taught in all relationship courses.
There's a lot to be said. So we talk a lot of times about I'm a foster parent and
Mhm.
a temporary foster hold. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of the same skills that you use in dealing with kids from trauma and
Mm.
relationship skills and even like marriage counseling skills
Yeah.
that are the same with dealing with consumers. And the bottom line is humans are humans.
Yeah.
And we're just in the world of collision repair. I am a human trying
Mhm.
to talk another human into giving me their keys so that
Mhm.
I can fix their car.
Yeah.
And so it really just comes down to those communications and taking our agenda off the table, which I'm one of those people that comes to the table immediately with an agenda.
Mm.
It's just, I've had my agenda, and you have to learn for the consumer. I got to take that agenda off the table because they're not in a space to handle that. They just need to
Yeah.
know that it's going to be okay. And I
Right.
got it. That's it. That's all I want to know.
Right. So in your class that you did last night, was it more, were you giving them word tracks or kind of like how to read people? Because
Yeah. So you've got 2 hours. That's what I always tell people it's a 1 week psychology course, and we're going to narrow it down to 2
yeah,
hours.
yeah.
So we set up I go through the Accenture research of what the consumers said they wanted, what they
Mhm.
felt businesses should be doing for them in a
Mhm.
post-COVID environment. And then we talked about there's 6 key conversational skills. And that
Mhm.
if I can lead with these, it's real easy to be biased towards somebody you don't know. So
Yeah.
the more impersonal I make something, if you don't have a name, if you're not Mickey,
Yeah.
if you're just like, I don't like people that do podcasts. It's real easy to say, I don't like this. It's hard to say, I don't like Mickey. Like, we were like, but
Right.
I like Mickey, right?
Right.
So the
Yeah.
more personal that we make things, the better we get to know people, the more empathy that we have.
Of course. Yeah.
And we've gotten into this industry where our relationships with consumers are very transactional. They're
Mhm.
also becoming impersonal because we think technology is what we need. I need a texting service. I need a messaging service. I need to be hands off so that I can do more of this. And we really need to be more hands on. So I need to
Yeah.
spend more time talking to the consumer. And we gave them some conversation skills because I'm like, I promise you, when you get to know them, you'll do your job better.
Yeah.
It'll just be natural, but you'll do your job better when you get to know them. When that customer, I tell all the shops we consult, when the customer leaves your lobby, I want you to be able to tell me 3 things about them. And it
Mm.
can't be about the car. I want you to tell me 3 things about them. And if you can just get to where you can tell me 3 things, I promise you're going to service them better.
Yeah.
I promise they're going to mean more to you. It's going to be like you
Yeah.
take care of your mom's car at that point. But if it's just the Camry, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me. So I have to make it not the Camry. I have to make it Mary who owns the Camry. That's what I got to
Right.
get to.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because as you were talking, I was thinking of so many shops I've worked with, and they don't refer to the guest by name. It's the 97 Cadillac, it's the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's like it's totally taking the personality, the relationship out of it. But like you said, it just becomes transactional. It's what we got to do for the process and the procedures. And it's like, I feel like we're missing something here.
When I was a kid growing up, my dad used to joke that he can't remember people's names, but he could remember every car he worked on.
Ah,
And he was right because he was a tech, and that was how he saw the world. His filter was the vehicle and the time
right.
and energy that he put fixing the car.
Yeah.
And to be successful, to actually interface with a customer, but not be the technician in the back to fix the car, then I have to connect with the customer. And that's why we have 2 roles. We have a front office in the shop, and we have a back office. My back techs can refer to everything like a car. My
Right.
front office, everything is a person.
Right.
And we do that. Like, we'll call an insurance company for a supplement, and as soon as the adjuster answers, we give them the claim number. We don't personalize anything.
Mhm.
And we go through our morning meetings. It's all a make model car or a year model of a car.
Right. Right.
And we've forgotten it. And we've let technology, because of the way a management system serves us up our in
Mhm.
queue or in process work, we lost our touch points, I think, on our side, and we've trickled that over to losing touch points with the customer. But the only thing I have to offer that makes me different, everybody's got a frame machine. Everybody's got
Yeah.
a really nice paint
Right.
booth. Everybody's got certificates that they can hang on the wall or certifications that can hang on the wall. The only thing that makes me different is me in the front
Right.
office, is the human nature or the human aspect that I give to another consumer.
Yeah.
And if I'm not giving anything different, then there's no reason for the consumer to connect with me. I might as well connect with the insurer because I have more tangible connections to the insurer than I do to the body shop.
Yeah.
I think one of the statistics last night the shops were surprised to hear is in the insurance side, we used to survey customers to see how long they remember the name. These were the DRP shops.
Okay.
Because if we were going to have DRP relationships as an insurer, we wanted to control the relationship.
Yeah.
We wanted the loyalty of the consumer. And we thought, well, if we're just sending them straight to a body shop, we're going to lose the loyalty.
Right.
And if I lose the loyalty, they'll lose my market share and then, all this. So we studied that a lot. And the results were 4 months after a repair, just 4.
Mm-hmm.
The consumer can't remember the name of the body shop that fixed the car.
Wow.
And we didn't make a personal connection. We transactionally serviced that repair, and we might have done it very well. We might have got a 10 on our CSI score.
Right.
But we weren't memorable.
Yeah.
And if I can't be memorable, I'm not sustainable.
Totally.
So, I think we've talked technically too long to this industry. It's probably time to stop. And I'm guilty because I'm the let's talk OE repairs and procedures and whatever.
Right.
But it's probably time to just start talking human again. Let's just focus on being humans, and we'll sort the rest out later.
Yeah, I love that. Hey, would you like to increase the number of cars in your drive? Well, look no further. The Mickey Woods marketing team provides collision center specific marketing. We use proven techniques to not only increase your sales, but put money in your pocket. Visit us at collisioncentermarketing.com, or you can find my personal contact information in the show notes. And let's get your 2022 off to a body banging start. Well, and you had talked about, I have like a little synopsis of kind of what you talked about in your thing last night. And one thing I put like a little star on was what you write is irrelevant. What you collect is everything. So a total pivot from like relationship, I think, into, I'm assuming writing up an estimate.
Yeah. So a lot of us focus in this industry on what are the lines on the estimate? What's the insurance company going to, what are they going to pay? What do I need to write? But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what I can collect. I can write an estimate that's amazing. And it can be technically correct. It can follow the guide to estimating. It can follow the OEM procedures. But if no one wants to pay me that estimate, all of that work and time and energy is for naught. Mm-hmm. So to get paid, to write an estimate is technical. That's what I always tell people. You have to know the car, and you have to know the systems. You have to know that's a technical. Getting paid is personal. And when someone decides that they want to give you money, which really we can all say the consumer owes the bill, and I'm a big fan of that, but the consumer is not going to write me a huge check. They don't have it. It's not like they don't want to, but most people, they say, don't even have $400 in their savings account right now. And I want them to write me a $2,000 short pay. Whatever. Right. There's a third-party bill payer that I need to pay. And I need that third-party bill payer to decide that they want to pay me, which means they need to like me, or they need to be able to want to have a conversation with me. And that's personal. That's human to human is how you get paid. Yeah. Technical is how you write. Right. Cool. Personal and human is how you get paid. And when shops go to the table trying to be technical, here's my procedures, here's my OEM position statement, here's all these things. They're trying to have a technical conversation with a human, and the human brain can't sort those two things out. Interesting. So when I want the yes for the check, I got to get personal and emotional. Yeah. And I got to make a connection. You got to want to pay me. If you don't like me, you don't want to give me money. Yeah. So, that's just the way it works, right? Yeah. And once shops get that, they're like, oh, so why do some shops get paid for everything they want and some shops never get paid for everything they want? It typically doesn't come down to that they have some magical technical or legal secret. I always tell people, just be nice. You're not nice. This guy's nice. I'm going to give this guy money. Right. So right. Yeah. I wish it was more technical. I could sell something. I could sell you a program, get you paid more. But unfortunately, it's always just be nice. There's always the need sometimes for the bad cop. And I think that's what Larry and I do really well together. Good cop, bad cop kind of thing. But good cop wins more than bad cop wins. Right.
Well, yeah. And I see it in shops all the time is the estimators and the managers that have a good relationship with the insurance reps, whoever they are coming out. They're like, oh, I don't think that they're that bad. Like we get along really well. Well, it really talks to your point. Well, because they're getting along with them. So it's making the whole process so much easier. Yeah. Even if there is pushback, that communication is a lot softer and more gentle when you are getting along and actually maybe even like that person.
Well, there's some people in our life that no matter what they say, we instantly don't like what they say. I mean, they
Right.
could be the sky is blue and we'll be like, no, it's not, it's turquoise. Just
Yeah.
because that person said it. But I had a
Yeah.
shop one time to come to my classes, and he was really upset. It was a struggle, every single estimate to get paid. He was $5,000 to $7,000 difference between him and the insurer. You know,
Wow.
and he came to me with a stack of, here's all the technical things I think this particular insurer is doing wrong. And he went through his list, and I said, hey, tell me 3 things that you know about this adjuster. He went, I don't know anything about this adjuster. I said, okay, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Adjusting is the worst job I ever had. I hated being an adjuster.
Yeah.
Right. I arranged my day by who hated me less.
Oh,
so I wanted my last inspection of the day was who I wanted to think that was going to yell at me the least so I could end my day on a good note. That's how I arranged my day. Right. Nobody likes the adjuster. So next time you see him, I want you to learn 3 things about him and call me back. I don't care how he pays or how it goes. Learn 3 things and call me back.
Yeah.
So about a week later, he calls me back. I answer the phone. He goes, holy crap. I go, what do you mean? What happened? What went wrong? He goes, he just paid my estimate in full. I went, wait, what? He goes, he came out to look at it. I didn't talk to him about the claim. I asked him some questions. I learned, how long he's been with the particular insurance company, that he's got a daughter in college. She plays volleyball. He was leaving that weekend to go to the volleyball game. And then as he was leaving, he just said, yeah, I'm going to take care of everything. I'll talk to you next week. And he goes, it's Monday morning. I'm in the shop. And he matched my estimate line from line. This was a guy that $5,000-$7,000 off of everything I paid for the last 6 months. And I thought I was going to kick this insurer out and put a sign up that says, we don't do this insurer anymore.
Right.
And now he's paying me and matching me to the penny. And I went, yeah, because now he likes you and you like him. You guys bonded on something. And it was never a technical problem. It was I don't like you problem.
Yeah. That's a cool story. I like it. Well, and you had also mentioned something about what insurers are being taught how to communicate. Was it something like that?
Yeah. So we broke down one of my jobs as a corporate claim trainer was to train new adjusters, bodily injury adjusters, SIU, everything. And we teach them a lot of psychology about how to talk to people, how to read them. Why we say some of the things we say is not because somebody just magically said it one day and turned around, took their headset off and went, hey, that worked, right? I mean, there were consumer behavioral psychologists and psychologists that worked, which I thought was really interesting when I was in that corporate level.
Yeah.
So we broke down a little bit of that training and kind of the science that was behind it. And then went, here's why. Do you guys ever really wonder why is it that the insurer never physically sees the consumer through this whole process, but they still control them?
Right.
We're face to face with them, but the insurer has more influence over them than we do. And there's some science behind that and how that worked out. And here are some things you can do to do the same thing that the insurer does. And one of it is don't make it a fight. It's not a divorce, right? We think of mom and dad are getting a divorce and there's a kid in the middle.
Yeah.
That's what this looks like. You guys get in the middle. The kids are in the middle. The customer. Mom and dad are over here fighting. Right. And then we're asking the kids to choose.
Yeah.
And some of us get really adamant about the consumer choosing us and taking our side and fighting the good fight and doing all that. They just want their car fixed.
Yeah. I know.
The insurer does a really good job. So we started hiring people with no experience. And so I hear the complaint all the time. The person out here telling me how to fix a car can never change a flat tire. That was on purpose. Because I don't need them to be a technician. I wanted them to be able to take care of my customer, right? Consumer came first. And those people were really good at people skills because they knew they didn't have technical skills. And you guys here are still trying to lead with your technical skills and thinking that you don't need to have people skills because you're technical.
Right.
Want the consumer, get personal. If you want to open a business that never talks to a consumer, get technical.
Yeah.
Or go be a tech again, but get out of the front office.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's like communication just totally missing each other.
Well, you speak German, I speak Spanish, but we're trying to talk to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so interesting. I find it fascinating, really. I so wish I could have been a part of your classes. I'm sure all the other stuff you talked about, because you have so much great information. So is this the kind of thing that you work with shops on? Is that part of what Collision Hub does?
Yeah. So two things we're doing this year. One, after I looked at all the research data that came back from Accenture, there's a pivot. There's a lot of things I'd like to talk about on or teach, but the consumer's not there. And there's no point in me telling a shop to pay me to give them something that I don't think that they're going to be able to use right now. Yeah. So we went and looked back pulled all that kind of customer service, empathy training that we used to do for insurance companies and said, I'm just going to repurpose a lot of this and I'm going to start delivering it for body shops.
Nice.
And then the second thing we did is I believe that body shops are going to have to become more like claims adjusters. They're going to have to understand claims law. They're going to have to be able to write intelligent emails, not that I think you should pay me emails. With the right language in them. Yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to speak German, so to speak, and write the right language. Yeah. So we resurfaced claim school. So we took what would have been the 3-week introductory claim school, and we're going to be launching that out for body shops to take it, giving it a little bit of a body shop twist.
Nice.
And then when we're out consulting shops, I spend pretty much all my time just working on the front office, going, you eat the elephant one bite at a time. Yeah. And we got to decide what are your emergencies that we need to work on? And typically it's estimators and customer service. Yeah. The people that speak publicly. I always say all of us have somebody in the body shop that should never open their mouth. Like they're not allowed to speak. Yeah. So put them somewhere. They may be a great estimator, but they do not even need to be in the lobby where they might actually encounter another human. But but that's typically what we spend a lot of time doing, and then breaking down and teaching them how to make connections. Most body shop owners were techs that decided one day to open their own body shop. Yeah. And that worked for a lot of years. Yeah. And some of us made really good money, kind of grunting. The customer comes in and we go, and the customer gives us the keys and we go, yeah. But we never really had a meaningful discussion with them. Yeah. Those days are over. In a post-COVID world, the consumer wants to feel special, and collision repair isn't really special. So, so I got to work really hard to find touch points, because the actual physicality of what I do isn't touchy-feely. But if I want them to remember my name in 4 months, I can't hug them. I'll get sued for that. But I mean, I've got to figure out how to get a really bit more. I got to soften it down a little bit. And let them have a safe space. And I got to not feel like they have to choose between mom or dad. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then the more freedom I give them to choose, they will typically choose me. Right. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes the consumer's like, Kristen, you're just too much. And it's okay. I get it. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll go out and spend probably 3 days on site with a shop. Okay, cool. And go through doing employee assessments, performances. Sometimes I have to tell somebody you're not allowed to speak again. Yeah. And then we'll come up with training plans for each of those employees. And we'll spend the next 6 months after that taking them through soft skills and business writing classes for emails. And I mean, I feel like I'm back teaching claim school again to new hires. Yeah. So. Yeah. But I think it's so necessary. I think the return on that, if we're talking like ROI, the return on that investment for a shop could be huge. So far, the feedback's been great. There's the fight. Why do I have to teach? Why do I have to learn how to do the insurance company's job? They should learn how to do it. I go, you're right. But if I want this person to write me a check, I'm going to learn to say whatever they need me to say to get that check. Well, of course. So we could, I would love it if the insurers would go back to training adjusters the way they did, but that's never coming back because their turnover is so high. Yeah. There's no possible way to re-implement claim school. I don't see it. A lot of people I've been out of corporate for a long, long time, but I right now looking at it with the turnover ratio could never even think of reinitiating claim school because the cost of it would be, I don't know how to do it. So that's not coming back. We're not getting any of those adjusters from 1997 ever again. Either we can change or we can close. Those are our two options. Yeah. Put the ego aside for a minute and let's try to move forward to get what you really want. It's a great because I tell shops there's probably nobody that has a bigger ego than I do, and it's a close race between me and Larry. But I have a huge ego. I mean, it takes up the whole room of a lot of times where I go, and I have to tell myself it's not about me; it's about the consumer. Yeah, my agenda doesn't matter. And, I can go to an industry event and rant and rave all I want, but when the customer's in front of me, shut up. Yeah. That's just it. Yeah. So. Yeah. I love that. Well, Kristen, I'm going to put all your information in the description below so they can reach out to you if they want. Kristen and Collision Hub, they have so many resources. So I'm going to put the website down there. I know you have an email list. Can they get on the email list through your website? Yeah. You can go in and register to get on the distribution list. You can also hit a chat box. And sometimes if I'm online, you end up chatting with me. So. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Fair warning, just say.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I'm on your email list, and a lot of the things that Kristen and her team puts out are so cool and useful. I mean, like recently your QC sheet that you guys came out with and stuff like that. And there's a lot of shops that kind of made their own, but you guys really kind of dialed it in for shops. So many cool, useful tools and trainings and everything else. So hopefully I can have you back on. We can talk about some other things that you guys do for people.
Anytime.
Yeah. Awesome. So thanks, Kristen, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. And goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Body Banging Podcast. See you next time.
If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have some incredible topics and guests coming your way you will not want to miss. If you are watching on YouTube and don't want to miss the latest and greatest, you'll want to hit the bell after subscribing, so you will get a pop-up each time a video podcast goes live. To our devoted fans, would you mind paying it forward and sharing this little gem with someone else you think may benefit from it? Much love from all of us here at Body Bangin', all things auto body.